Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Welcome, listeners, to another chilling episode of The Shadow Frequency. I am Juniper, your producer, and tonight I'm diving into the creepy old file cabinet in the studio where the shadows seem to cling just a bit too tightly. Let's see. I open the drawer here. Let me oh my goodness, what is all this stuff in here? Well, is that a sandwich? A dusty file labeled Mill Race Monster, Columbus, Indiana, 1974. Oh, this one's got that eerie vibe that makes your skin crawl. Matt, you ready to unravel this green skin nightmare with us tonight?
No, Juniper, you know I'm always ready to dive into the paranormal deep end.
Right.
Plus, you can pass that sandwich over here that you found in the drawer there. A hairy-clawed creature stalking a park. This sounds like it's going to haunt my dreams. What's got you excited about this one?
Well, Matt, it's not every day you get a monster that jumps on cars and sparks a nationwide monster hunt.
Right.
I'm just hoping it doesn't show up in my backyard. All right, listeners, buckle up for something truly unsettling. Over to you, Matt, to kick off episode 174.
Welcome back to The Shadow Frequency, where we chase the shadows that lurk just beyond the veil. A little dark in here this evening. Let me flip the light on here. There we go. Tonight, we're diving into the chilling legend of the Mill Race Monster, a creature that turned a quiet park in Columbus, Indiana, into the epicenter of terror in November 1974. Picture this. It's a crisp autumn day. The leaves are falling, and Mill Race Park, a scenic 83-acre haven along the White River, is about to become the stage for something unimaginable. On November 1st, 1974, the Columbus Police Department received frantic calls from two separate groups of women. They claimed to have encountered a massive bipedal creature, 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in dark matted fur with a pale green face and long razor-sharp claws. The first sighting happened in broad daylight around 3 p.m. near the park's boat ramp. 4 young women spotted this thing lurking between the trees, its eerie green face glaring from the shadows. They fled, hearts pounding, and reported it to the police, describing a green, hairy, and large monstrosity. But it gets darker. That same night, around 11:45 p.m., another group of women parked near the river to eat were ambushed. This creature, this thing, leaped onto the hood of their car, pounding the windshield with its claws, its slimy green face snarling as it tried to break through. The women, including one named Tyra Cataline, were convinced they were going to die. Tyra later said it was something. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't somebody wearing a costume. Their car was left with deep scratches and a foul stench, as if the creature's presence lingered like a curse. 2 days later, on November 5th, 2 men in their 20s spotted a hairy figure near the park's covered bridge, first in daylight, then again at midnight. They chased it, but it vanished into the woods. The descriptions were consistent: tall, upright, fur-covered, with that unnatural green face. Strange footprints were found in the park too, large, unidentifiable, and pressed deep into the earth. And here's where it gets weirder. Around the same time, UFO sightings were flooding the Midwest. Some witnesses whispered that this creature might have been left behind by extraterrestrial visitors, a stranded alien prowling the riverbanks. The terror spread like wildfire. Mill Race Park became a magnet for fear and fascination, drawing hundreds of armed monster hunters. On one night alone, over 100 cars clogged the park as people roamed the woods with baseball bats, shotguns, and knives, desperate to catch a glimpse of the beast. The Columbus police, overwhelmed, appointed Officer Kenneth St. John as the unofficial monster control officer to manage the chaos. By mid-November, the park was closed from dusk to dawn to stop the madness. The Mill Race Monster wasn't just a fleeting shadow, it was a force that gripped an entire town, pulling them into a collective nightmare. Was it a cryptid, a lost creature from some forgotten realm? An extraterrestrial castaway? Or something even stranger, born from the murky waters where the flat rock and driftwood rivers meet? Juniper, this one's got my pulse racing. A green-faced beast jumping on cars? That's the stuff of nightmares. What do you think this thing could be?
Matt, I'm picturing this slimy clawed thing staring through my window, and I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be something otherworldly. Maybe those UFOs dropped it off for a little Earth vacation? What's next?
Oh, we're diving deeper into the mystery after the break. Stay with us, listeners. Juniper, take it away.
Wow, listeners, how's that for a spine chiller? The mill race monster has me checking under my bed tonight. I bet you're all wondering if this creature's still lurking out there waiting to pounce. We've got more to unpack in the second half, including a theory that might make you rethink everything. But first, let's pass it over to Chris Beach to tell you where to find the shadow frequency. Chris?
Thanks, Juniper. And hey, don't forget, if you're enjoying the show, give us a like and subscribe. You can follow the Shadow Frequency on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, all the major podcast directories. Want more? Head over to shadowfrequencypodcast.com, where you'll find every episode, our brand new Shadow blog with companion articles, and our merch store with some eerie cool swag. Plus, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a voicemail right on the site and let us know where you're listening from. We might feature your message in an upcoming episode. And if you'd like to support the show, you can even buy us a coffee. Every bit helps keep the shadows whispering. Back to you, Juniper.
Thanks, Chris. Now it's time for our mailbag segment where we fire up the old spectral communicator here. Let me just flip the switches. To be a message from one of you brave listeners. Dooby-doo-doo. Let's see what's come through the ether today. Just open this up here. All right. Okay, listeners, we've got a gem of a message tonight from Larry S. in New Haven, Connecticut. Larry writes, "Hey, Matt and Juniper, I just wanted to say thanks for the amazing show. I've been listening to the Shadow Frequency for quite a while, and it's become a ritual for me during my graveyard shifts here in Connecticut. I work maintenance at a small hospital, lots of long, quiet hours, walking dim hallways, fixing lights, checking boilers, and trying not to spook myself too badly. Your podcast keeps me alert and entertained through the weird hours and when most of the world is asleep. There's something about your eerie topics and that late-night tone that fits perfectly with the mood of the place like this. A few weeks back, I was listening to the episode about Berwyn Mountain time slip, and I swear, right as you mentioned the static on the radio, one of the old intercom speakers crackled to life for no reason. Nearly jumped out of my skin. Anyway, keep doing what you're doing. You've got a listener for life here in the quiet corners of Connecticut. All the best, Larry S. Oh, Larry, you're out there keeping the lights on in a spooky hospital. You're braver than me. I'm imagining you in those dim hallways. The shadow frequency in your earbuds, and then bam, that intercom crackles like it's possessed. That's the kind of synchronicity that makes my skin tingle. Thanks for sharing, and keep the stories coming, folks. Drop us a line, that shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. All right, Matt, back to you for the second half of this monstrous tale.
Welcome back to the Shadow Frequency, where we're peeling back the layers of the Millrace monster mystery. We left off with Columbus, Indiana, gripped by fear as this green-faced, fur-covered creature terrorized Millrace Park in November 1974. The sightings were vivid, the panic was real, and the town was on edge. But let's dive deeper into what happened next and explore what this thing might have been. One of the most compelling accounts comes from Tyra Cataline, who decades later in 2015 stood by her story on a local Fox News station. She described the creature as aggressive, with slime dripping from its face and claws that left deep scratches on her car. She insisted, "I know what I saw, and it was pretty bad." The physical evidence, those claw marks, and the stench on the car added weight to her claim. Other witnesses, like the two men near the covered bridge, reported the creature moving with unnatural speed, vanishing into the woods as fast as a deer, according to city dog catcher Rick Duckworth. But the story doesn't end with eyewitnesses. The UFO connection keeps nagging at us. Columbus was a hot spot for unexplained lights in the sky that fall, and some speculated the creature was an extraterrestrial left behind by a passing craft. The park's proximity to railroad tracks and Camp Atterbury, a military base, also fuels theories about high-energy sources attracting strange entities. Cryptozoologists often note that cryptids like this appear near power lines or rivers, as if drawn to some unseen force. Could the mill race monster be a visitor from another world, or perhaps a creature from a hidden dimension, slipping through a crack in reality? Now let's address the skeptical side. Some, like Rick Duckworth, believed it was just a man in a costume, green blankets, and a mask. Maybe a prankster who had got carried away after Halloween. He claimed he saw the figure while rescuing cats from a tree and dismissed it as human. But here's the catch. How does a prankster move like a deer, leave massive footprints, and terrify multiple witnesses into believing they were facing death? Tyra Cataline's raw fear, even 41 years later, doesn't sound like the reaction to a guy in a cheap costume. The monster hunt fizzled out by late November. The park reopened, and sightings stopped, but the legend endures. In 2024, Columbus embraced the mystery with a monster show at Gallery 411, featuring a comic book and art inspired by the creature. Whatever it was, cryptid, alien, or hoax, the mill race monster left an indelible mark on the town's psyche, a shadow that still lingers by the river. Juniper, I'm torn. Part of me wants to believe this was some interdimensional beast, but that prankster theory's nagging at me. What's your take?
Matt, I'm all in on the alien cryptid angle.
Right.
Those claw marks sound way too real for a Halloween prank. But a guy in blankets, I don't know. Maybe he was really committed? Shall I wrap it up?
All right, listeners, let's send it to Juniper for the sign-off. Stay spooky out there.
Well, listeners, we wandered through the shadowy woods of Mill Race Park and came face to face with a green-skinned nightmare that still haunts Columbus, Indiana. From panicked eyewitnesses to UFO whispers, the Mill Race monster is a mystery that refuses to fade. Was it a creature from beyond or just a prank that got out of hand? Whatever you believe, keep your eyes peeled next time you're near a river at dusk. Thanks for joining us on episode 174 of The Shadow Frequency. Send us your spooky stories at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Matt, say goodbye.
Stay curious and stay creepy.
Until next time, keep tuning into the shadows. Good night, everyone.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.